Good morning, everybody. I am still just so delighted to be able to look and see people's faces.
Yes.
So for those of you that are able to show your faces, it's great. If you're not, or there are reasons not to, don't worry about that at all. That's perfectly okay. But we are happy to have you here this morning on this beautiful morning that is the culmination of our giving program for 2022. So whether you're online or you're here with us today in the room, we're going to be having a celebration that also allows us to take a look at where we have been over the past 18 months and just see how much we managed in that amount of time, in spite of the fact that for quite a bit of it, we were not able to see each other in person. So right now, though, we're going to get ready to start by inviting you to stand for this new opening song, and midway through, we're going to stop. I mean, the music will kind of noodle underneath you, but we're going to have you run around and say good morning to each other. So be prepared, get your running shoes on, because that's what we're going to do in just a minute. So Karen, take it away.
Okay, so brand new song for you today. Let me sing it. I'm going to sing it once slow, and then we'll bring it up to tempo. So it goes like this. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, grateful that I am here today. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, abundant blessings are coming my way. Got it? Ready? Let's go a little bit faster. Here we go. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, grateful that I am here today. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, abundant blessings are coming my way. Do that again. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, grateful that I am here today. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, abundant blessings are coming by. Now let's go to you. We'll go like this. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, grateful that you are here today. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, abundant blessings are coming your way. Do that again. And grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful. You got it. Grateful that you are here today. Grateful, grateful, I'm so grateful, abundant blessings are coming your way. So I think that's a good place for you to go and say hello to someone and say to them, I'm so glad you're here.
Go say hello to people. Introduce yourselves. Look for somebody you don't already know. And hello to all of you out there this morning in internet land. Say hello. Put something in the chat. Say hello to each other. We call this a meet and greet. All right.
Okay, let's declare it for all
right.
of us now.
Come on back
We're gonna
now.
Say, grateful, grateful. We're so grateful. We're so grateful, grateful that we are here today. Grateful, grateful. We're so grateful. Abundant blessings are coming our way. Do it again. Grateful, we're so grateful. We're so grateful, grateful that we are here today. Grateful, grateful, we're so grateful, abundant blessings are coming. All right, let's go one more time and say, grateful, grateful, we're so grateful, grateful that we are. All right, everyone's very happy to be together.
They are out of control.
Grateful, grateful, we're so grateful, abundant blessings are coming. All right, how about abundant blessings? Abundant coming your way, are coming your way. Abundant coming my way, are coming my way.
Oh, give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand.
Today.
You are so much fun to watch during the meet and greet because everybody gets into these conversations and they're having so much fun. And we're up here getting ready to go on with the song and we're singing and nobody's paying any attention to us at all. And it's just actually delightful. It's just delightful. I don't know how confusing it is for those of you who are online, but they're having a really good time in the room. You might want to come and try to be here sometime with us. So now is the time to go ahead and silence your cell phone. You do not have to turn it off, and I'll tell you why. Because one of the things that is great at inviting other people to come and be with us on Sunday is if they see you post something on Facebook from the service that says you're here, like a check-in, or repeats a quote that you liked, or a song lyric, or something like that, that allows other people to participate. So just make sure to turn the sound down, set it so it's going to vibrate and not ring, and then go for it, okay? So, but for now, we're going to go into the silence together with this meditation song and our opening prayer from prayer practitioner Leslie Janetti. So let's turn within.
So I have a special little chant here. This seemed like it was a special occasion today, and I wanted to bring one of our beloveds into the room. So this is a little chant that I wrote with Janet Ryan years ago. So let's bring Janet into this today with her words. I am love revealed. I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed. I am love revealed. I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed, and being love, thou art the pure expression of my divine heart. I'll say it one more time. I am love revealed. I'm love revealed. All that was separate is now healed. I am love revealed. I am love revealed. All that was separate is now healed, and being love, thou art the pure expression of my divine heart. I am love revealed. I am love revealed. I am love revealed.
The divine heart of the universe, the one infinite life, the magnificent all in all. That this one just pours itself through the universe upon universe, and it creates out of itself, and even in this moment, it pours itself through each one right here. It pours itself through the Golden Gate Center, and it's recreating each one in love. Love being revealed as the one and only power in the universe of creation. So I speak my word for each one, and I claim an opening in consciousness for a deep and resonant realization of the infinite life within each one as the source at their very core. And the result of this realization is great peace of mind and a deep sense of belonging and unity consciousness. Everywhere and in every place, there is nothing too big or too small for the infinite love. So I accept for each one a deep realization that love abides within them. It is the vitality and the inspiration within them that calls them forth, home to self, home to wholeness, home to the wonder and the majesty of the infinite life within, which is always seeking greater self-expression. And I celebrate the self-expression within each one as life being revealed, as love being revealed. And I give deep thanksgiving for the opening in consciousness and heart and mind right now, which allows for a demonstration of the truth of being. And I release my word to the law of mind, which embraces my word into itself, brings it into form as life continues to celebrate itself by each one. And so it is. Amen.
So it is.
I am love revealed. I am love revealed. We are love revealed.
It's all yours.
Move a little bit in your seats. Wiggle a little bit.
Here we go.
So if you want to have more, what do you got to do?
Give more.
Give. You got to give. What today is about. If you want more love, give a love. If you want more joy, what do you got to do? Give joy. If you want more peace, what do you got to do? Give peace. If you want more, just give. If you want more, just give. If you want more money, what do you got to do? Give your money. If you want more time, give up your time. If you want more friends, be a friend. And if you want more, just give. If you want more, just give. 'Cause when you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, no struggle. It's just a simple fact. Oh, if you want to see a change, what do you got to do? Be the change. If you want to have more truth, tell your truth. If you want more gratitude, what do you got to do? Give thanks. And if you want more, just give. If you want more, just give. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm so glad you're here. You look fabulous. Just remember to give. Just give.
Get up and move.
You can stand up and stretch and flex and stretch and flex. My Karen Drucker dancer is here. I love it. 'Cause when you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, no struggle. It's just a simple fact. Just a simple fact. You know it's just a simple fact, Jack. Woo! If you want more love, what do you gotta do? Give love. If you want more joy, just give joy. You want peace, give peace. If you want more, just give. Yeah. If you want more, you got to give. Oh yeah. Today it's about that. Gonna give it. Gonna give it. You'll receive it. Gotta give it. Then receive it. Yeah. Now. If you want more, if you want more, you got to give. Yeah. If you want more, if you want more, you got to give. Yes. If you want more, if you want more, you got to give now. If you want more, what do you got to do? You got to give.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Karen. Woo! So great. Now, as we begin today, I want to take a moment to bring attention to a few people who have made a big difference for us over the last 7-8 weeks. So first of all, I want to thank Karen and Randy Frost, because Karen and Randy are the ones that made sure that we had all the little gifts every single week, that they were packaged and ready to go. And so would you guys stand up? I just want to acknowledge you and really thank you. And if you did not receive your bookmark this morning, Randy did these. This is all of the affirmations that we used for the giving program from the beginning of, middle of September right through till this week. And so all of the affirmations are on this nice bookmark. It's a nice cardstock with the logo for A Star is Born 2022. So put this up on your refrigerator, put it in the current book that you're reading, and just keep it handy so you've got all those affirmations available for you. And then you also got a little star, a little tiny star this morning. Hang this up someplace to remind you this is who you are. You are a star, not this small, but you are a star. And so this little sparkly is a reminder of that for all of us. This is week 8, of course, of the 2022 giving program. And so one of the things that I like to do when we come to this point in the year is to take a look at, well, what got us here over this past year? And for us, it's really more like the last 18 months, because ever since we sort of disappeared into lockdown, lots and lots of work has been done in the background for us to get equipment, learn how to do stuff, mount things in a different way. And then, of course, when we became live again, we had to kind of do that all over again, because we went from being either all online or all live in the room to doing both of those at the same time. So yes, we're in our theme for 2021, which is timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. And so let's look at the timeless wisdom that we have all been sharing and experiencing together over the last 18 months. So, at the end of a play, after it closes, there's a cast party. And the cast and crew comes together, and they eat and drink and talk and share, and actors are hams, And so they get up and they act out parts of the play for each other, their favorite parts, or they sing and dance, or they do their thing, and the crew rolls their eyes. And everybody has a lot of fun. So this is kind of a celebrational day for us, really, in coming to the day that we make our giving intentions for next year is also a celebration. So there will be refreshments today. But first, let's see. We have accomplished, I think, some things. Now the question is, what? So let's take a look and see what it is exactly that we did over this last 18 months that we might celebrate and be grateful for. So just hang in here with me for a few minutes as we watch. So there is really an amazing amount that got done over 18 months, in spite of the fact that for a good chunk of that time, we couldn't actually be physically together on Sundays. And so I think we really should acknowledge everything that has gotten done, and particularly want to acknowledge William back there, who has 17 times as much equipment and has learned how to use it all, coordinate it all, and help me coordinate mine. I really want to acknowledge William Hamilton. He's amazing. Woo, 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 woo. All right, and we are grateful for every single one. So, you know, money is a tricky thing, isn't it? It can be very wonderful, amazing, tremendous gift. It can be very challenging or difficult. It can be scary. It can be, we can feel unworthy of it. There's just, you know, every feeling you can imagine associated with money, almost more so than anything else. Although if money isn't your issue in your life, then maybe it's health or relationships or work or something else. That's the big bugaboo. But there's a lot of stuff around money in our culture. I heard a story about a fellow who was in hospice, and he had quite a bit of money. And so he called to his bedside his minister, his doctor, and his lawyer. And he gave each of them $30,000. And he said, I'm entrusting this to you because I know my family. They're going to want to get their hands on absolutely everything when I go. And that's fine, but I want to take some of it with me. You know how the pharaohs were buried with a lot of stuff so they'd have it when they went? Well, I want to do that. So I'm entrusting this money to you, each of you with $30,000. And what I want you to do, when I die and I'm in my casket, I want you to put the money in with me so that it'll be buried with me and I'll have it to take with me. Now you say you can't take it with you, but this guy hadn't heard that. So they each solemnly promised they would do this. And before too many more days went by, this fellow made his transition, and sure enough, he was laid out in his casket, and each one of them went by at the viewing, you know, at the funeral home, right before, during the service, and right before the casket was going to go out and be buried, they each put an envelope in the casket. Well, they were sharing a taxi on the way back to town afterward, and the minister was looking guilty, and he said, I have to confess something. He said, I did put most of the money in the casket, but, you know, my church is small, and we need to repair the roof, and so I kept $10,000 of that money. And I know that, you know, he would appreciate it's going to a good cause, but, you know, I just feel like I need to acknowledge that I didn't put the whole $30,000 in, even though I agreed to. And the doctor took a deep breath and said, well, thank God it wasn't just me. He said, you know, we need a new piece of equipment at the hospital that's kind of expensive, and we weren't quite there yet in terms of what it was going to cost. So I actually kept $15,000 out to help us purchase that machine, that piece of equipment. But I did put the rest of it in the way that I promised that I would. And the lawyer looked at both of them and he said, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. We made a commitment to our friend. We made a promise that we would put the money he entrusted with us back into that coffin for him because he believes he can take it with him. That's up to him. And I want you to know that I did that. I kept my commitment. I put that envelope with the entire $30,000 and a check made out to him in that envelope that I put into the casket. Yeah, money is a tricky thing. Money is a really tricky thing. Sometimes the magic works and sometimes it doesn't. So as we look at money in our own lives and the activity that we take to forward ourselves in our lives, it's our intentions are important and our action is important. And it's the way those two things come together that make all the difference in terms of how our experience of abundance flows in our lives. So we can have the intention that we want to be generous, but if we never take action to be generous, the intention, it's like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But on the other hand, if we take action that is out of duty and obligation and resentment, that also undermines the intention to be generous. Would you agree? When I was a little girl, my father died when I was very tiny, and my mother and I lived on Social Security. We could actually squeak by on that. And she didn't go to work because I was little and we didn't have daycare, and she wouldn't have left me with a relative even if one were available because she wouldn't have wanted to ask anybody for anything, right? So when we got our envelopes to donate, even we little kids got envelopes for Easter time or whenever it was. And so I would put pennies into my envelope that my mother had given me, right? This was all coming out of her money. It wasn't really my money. And she would give hers. But there was always a sense, bless her heart, there was always a sense of obligation and resentment about that money going out. So some of you may have experienced something like that too. The feeling of obligation to support a work or a charity or a spiritual organization, but feeling like it was coming right out of the lifeblood of the family. That's a difficult thing to overcome. And it doesn't matter so much if we come into a more abundant, prosperous experience in our lives as adults. We still have that foundation underneath us of that assumption that something important is being taken from us when we make those kinds of contributions. So to the degree that we learn to both grow in our intention and our attitude as well as our behavior, then we begin to experience a shift in our actual experience of abundance in our lives. We begin to experience a shift even when the material level of abundance hasn't changed yet, because something is changing inside of us. And when something is changing inside of us, we know that it changes what goes into the creative law. And the creative law doesn't have any choice but to reflect back to us that change. So when we make an adjustment in our attitude of generosity, it affects how the creative law responds to us in giving and receiving. Now, I said something last week about receiving. Our practice last week was to ask for and receive things every single day, and to keep track of it on our little tracking sheet with our little gold stars, like we're little kids, to reward ourselves with a gold star every day that we actually managed to ask, and to note how we felt about receiving what we had asked for if we did receive it. Because what I said last week was that you cannot be a successful giver without being a skilled receiver. Those things are connected. So we're not actually effective in our giving when we're not also able to receive graciously and and with generosity and grace as well. So what we want to be able to do to grow in our abundance consciousness is to balance our ability to receive, to ask for, to receive, and to give generously. And here's another piece: to hear other people's requests without resentment. When I was young, I thought if anybody asked me for something, whether it was information or a favor or something else, that I had to say yes. Otherwise, it was rude. So whether I wanted to say yes or not, whether my internal response was yes or not, I felt that I had no choice but to say yes. Now, you know what that leads to? It leads to resentful giving. It leads to broken promises and commitments. It leads to an internal kind of push me, pull you sort of stinginess that happens even with the giving. It's like giving with strings attached. Is this making sense, what I'm saying? And so, without knowing it, even in my saying yes to requests that were made of me, I was reinforcing a lack consciousness inside of me by giving out of resentment. And so, in order for me to grow and learn, one of the things I had to learn was that it's okay for anybody to ask me anything. They can ask me for anything, they can ask me any question they want. That does not mean I have to say yes or that I have to respond with that information. That was a life-changing revelation to me, I got to tell you. The idea that I had the right to say no lovingly, that it was possible to say no lovingly, that was a revelation, and also that it was okay not to answer a question that was asked of me. And one of the things, and I had learned this several times, but one of the things that really helped me was Reverend Mary Mannon Morrissey was doing a program, and she had written a number of books, and when I wrote my book, she was visiting in wherever we were, and she said to me, we hired a promotional consultant to help us when my book came out. And I don't know how helpful that was, but I want to tell you the one thing that consultant told me that was the most helpful thing I learned. When you're doing an interview, like a radio interview that you get booked for, you know what information you want the listeners to receive. It's your job to make sure they get that information, no matter what the moderator asks you. Because they're just trying to fill time. They don't really care what you say. They're not going to press you if you don't answer the question, because all they want to do is have you say something interesting that will keep their listeners listening. So if somebody asks you a question that doesn't have really anything to do with what you want the listeners to know, what you say is, Frank, I'm so glad you asked me that question because it reminds me of something I want to make sure that your listeners hear this morning, and that is this, which probably has nothing to do with the question they asked you, but is an essential piece of information you want the listeners to hear. Now that was gold because it was one of the most direct communications I ever got from somebody to let me know that I wasn't obligated to answer any question that was asked of me. What does that mean? As Michael and Paulette's son taught us on course many years ago, what it means is that you can listen to anything, that you don't have to take offense, and that you can say yes or no, which means anybody can ask you anything, because there's no resentment building up about feeling like you have to say yes to their request. Does this make sense? Yes. Yeah? So it's the combination of the inner attitude, the intention that we set, and the action that we take together. And that inner attitude is all of these pieces. It's about the way in which we give, the way in which we ask, the way in which we receive requests, and the action that we take. It's all those pieces together. Maxwell Drake said, if Columbus had turned back after 65 days on the uncharted seas, no one could have blamed him, but then no one would have remembered him. Even if you have a good excuse for giving up, remember that all the rewards go to those who stick until they get what they are after. So when we look at coming to this Sunday, which is the day that we are all invited to prayerfully decide what our giving intention is to Golden Gate for 2022, all of these pieces need to come together. Are we persistent and consistent in our giving? Because that pattern establishes a consciousness within us. Are we grateful and appreciative as we give? Are we open to making requests of other people for support, for information, for help when we need it. Yes, that can be humbling to ask for help. There's a reason why it's important to do that, because somebody also is going to need to ask us for help. And we need to know that there's nothing shameful or unfair about asking or being asked. We need to, in our listening, when we ask, know that no is also an acceptable answer to a request that we make from somebody. Ernest Holmes wrote in Can We Talk to God? Faith set in motion in this medium, he's talking about the creative law, produces facts in human experience. Let me say that again. Faith set in motion in this medium produces facts in human experience. In other words, when we're operating from faith in the action that we take, there will be results in our lives that will show up. And he goes on to say, our own individual subjective states of thought constitute the medium through which this law works. It's not just that the creative law is all around us, receiving the impress of our thoughts. It's part of our own construction, the creative law. You can't get away from it. You can't say, I'm taking a vacation from creative law for a few weeks. I'm just going to think and do whatever I want to and expect no blowback from the universe. Good luck with that. So Holmes says, if we have a true conviction which is in line with the ultimate harmony, we can create an idea which must clothe itself in form equal to our mental equivalent of such an idea. In other words, the idea in mind, if we have faith in it, the more faith that we have in that idea, the more powerful the vibration becomes in creative law, the more powerful the action of creative law comes to demonstrate that in our experience in our lives. Is this making sense? Hello? Yes. I am speaking to people speaking English with me. Yes. Yes. Okay, good. All right. In the Gospel of Thomas, it says, if you bring forth that which is within you, what you bring forth will save you. In other words, our gifts, our skills, our abilities. Yes, giving isn't just to charity. Giving isn't just our money. Giving is also of ourselves. What do we have within ourselves that we're called to share, to give? So if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. It will bring to you what you need to learn and the resources that you need in your life to go forward. And then it says, if you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. And I believe what that means is that our gifts that don't get given, that don't get acted upon, that aren't passed on in the world, they kind of curdle and shrivel and shrink and despair inside of us because they're there to be given. That's what they want, to be given. That's a risk, because to give of ourselves means we could get rejected. Somebody might not understand it. They might not like it. They might not agree with it. I got to tell you, when I look at our Facebook live stream, the recording of it on Facebook, when I look at it after Sunday's over, and I look at the comments afterwards from people who have come across it because it was boosted or who commented during the service, once in a while we get a series of really negative comments from people. A series about, you just want people's money. That's the only reason you're doing this. Oh, this is Satan's activity. This is, And you know what? When I read those comments, it hurts. It hurts. I would like to be neutral about that and just look at that and go, that's a reflection of where somebody is and it's okay. But that's not how it feels. So when we put ourselves out there, we take a risk that we're going to get some response that might not feel good. People might not like it. They might not agree with us. They might give us a hard time. That could happen. But you never know how many blessings also went out from that, whatever you gave, to people that you never hear from, that you never know about. Karen was telling me this morning that when she first started doing her music, that she would read books and look at websites, and she would see what ministers and authors and other people, prominent people, were doing. And then she would match their message with one of her songs, and she would just send it to them and say, you know, I read your book and you say this a number of times, and so I want to just share this song with you that might work, you know, when you're on stage. You could use it for, you know, what they play as you come up on stage. Well, you know what happened? Some of those people went, who is this woman? And they started looking up her stuff, and they started booking her to come and go on tours with them and do workshops and do retreats. And she got more work than she knew what to do with because she put her gift out there. Now, did everybody respond to her? You know, I don't know, probably not. No. Yeah. But enough. And then what happened? Then, when she got to do workshops and seminars and retreats with these prominent people who had rooms full of people, her gifts went even further because she was willing to start and just put it out there. So let's think about what really matters. Think about if you can answer these questions first. Name the 5 wealthiest people in the world. Just think about this. Can you name the 5 wealthiest people in the world? I can think of 3, maybe 4. Name the last 5 Heisman Trophy winners. Name the last 5 winners of the Miss America pageant. Name 10 people who have won the Nobel or Pulitzer Prize. Name the last 6 Academy Award winners for Best Actor and Actress. Name the last decade's worth of World Series winners. See, the point is, none of us remember the headliners of yesterday. Now, these are not second-rate achievers, these people. They are the best in their fields. But applause dies, awards tarnish, achievements are forgotten, accolades and certificates are buried with their owners. I can remember when Reverend Dr. Peggy Bassett was alive. She was the president of our organization at one time, and she was the minister at the Huntington Beach Church of Religious Science, which had 3,000 members at that time. And she worked very hard to transform our summer conference, Asilomar, from how it had been going to how she thought it should go. And so over the years that she had that position and that influence, she transformed it. And then Peggy was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And she was less and less able to be influential in that way. And eventually, she made her transition about 5 years after she was diagnosed. And over the course of that 5 years, she lamented that everything she had done with Asilomar got undone. Everything. That kind of stuff doesn't last. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, says, when we die, it doesn't matter if nobody ever remembers us. What matters is that while we were here, we lived. While we were here, we learned, we gave our gifts, we did what we were here for. So now think about this. Think of a few teachers who aided your journey through school. Can anybody think of one? Name 3 friends who have helped you through a difficult time. Can you think of some? Yeah. Name 5 people who taught you something worthwhile. I think there are 5 in this room that taught me something worthwhile. Think of a few people who've made you feel appreciated and special. Think of 5 people you enjoy spending time with. Easier, right? The people who make the most difference in our lives are not the ones with the most credentials, the most money, or the most awards. They're the ones that care. They're the ones that care. So when we come to, this Sunday of making a commitment or setting a giving goal, we're doing 2 things. We're individually taking a stand for what we believe in and what we want to have supported and thriving as Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. And we're taking action to be a blessing in the world that extends out beyond this room, that has an effect in places larger than this. Maybe for somebody online who just happens across this on a Sunday, that might make all the difference. For one person, would it be worth it if we had done all this for one person? Maybe it saves a life, maybe it transforms somebody. I would say, yeah, I think so. I think it makes a difference. So when we get ready to look at our giving intention for 2022, I want to say to you that it's not enough for Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living just to be able to afford to stay at the Masonic. Because right now we're in the red, and that's all about rent. Because we were doing fine until we decided we were going to reopen. But this place costs a little more than the community center. However, I think it's worth it. It's not much more. But we're not quite making it. So if we were to raise $266,000 over the course of the next year, we would break even. I wanted to up it a little bit. So in my mind, I said we want to raise $275,000 for this year. Now, that's not a whole lot more. But, you know, our dearly beloved Karen Drucker, who has been hanging out with us for the better part of 18 months as our music director, making sure that all those fabulous people were here when she wasn't here, it's time for her to get back out there. Her gifts are being called for on the road. There are churches all over that want her coming on Sunday. They want her workshops. They want her in seminars. They want her out there. And she would like to do some other new stuff too. So Karen, our darling, is only with us through the end of the year. Now what are we going to do? We've got to create a music program. That's why I sent out an email saying, are you musical? Anybody read that email? Do you play a portable instrument? Are you good? Do you play well with others? Can you sing? Can you carry a tune? Have you ever sung in a chorus or a choir? Come and talk to me because I want to get something cooking here. Not only for us in the room, so that we can get you folks up and moving. You know, I had a ministerial colleague who was at the Vancouver Center for Spiritual Living years ago in British Columbia, way before the time that I was there. And one of the things that she told them as an American, I'm going to get you Canucks up and dancing. Because Canadians are very polite. You may not know this. They're very quiet. Amanda and I decided as a country, they're all introverts. They're very quiet. They're very polite. And so to get that congregation up and dancing, that was something. And by the time I was there, we had a 90-year-old practitioner in that congregation who told me that minister taught her how to dance. A 90-year-old practitioner who, when they first started dancing, was appalled at the inappropriateness of dancing in church. But it changed. So we're going to get you folks up and dancing. We want to get something happening here consistently in the room. That's why I want to have a house band. That's why I want to have a vocal group. And it's not only for us in the room, it's also because out there, when people hear amazing music coming out of a building, the first thing they want to know is, what's going on in there? Do you know in Santa Rosa when I was there, Maggie Cole, a lot of you practitioners know Maggie Cole, she lived at the end of the block. Her cat started coming to services before she did. We had no air conditioning. All the doors and windows were open in the summertime. Her cat would come in, walk down the center aisle, and sit down. It used to come in the evening when I was teaching classes. We did a meditation every evening at the beginning of class. Her cat would come in, sit down in the aisle in the front row, tuck its paws under, and it would sit there for the entire meditation, and then when we stopped, it would get up and leave. Maggie came because of the music. She heard that music and she thought, what is going on in there? I got to know what that place is all about. And the rest is history. So we never know who's out there that needs in here but can't get in here just because there's a sign. Can't get in here just because there might be a message online. They need the extra juice of the music, and that's why I stuck that extra money in there. Who knows? We might need more than that. But this is our day to say, what's my part of that giving goal for Golden Gate? Can I expand my giving? So this year, I'm going to expand my giving. Reverend Lloyd is upping his by quite a bit. He's already told me. And I'm just grateful and amazed, as always. And so you have, I hope, received this morning, when you came in, your giving intention form. Now, if you didn't get one of these with a little envelope, stick your hand up in the air, and or if you need a pen, because Paula will come and make sure you have one. And you don't have to do this, but we're inviting you to lovingly consider what you are going to give to Golden Gate in the next year, and to write it down on here. Now, there's also another possibility, too, which I'll show you in just a minute, which is we now have on our website a giving intention page. So if you don't know or you're not sure, you might look at that page. It's under donations, and I'll tell you that in just a minute. But what I want to do is right now, we're going to just have some lovely music in the background. Let's enter into prayer together right now. And then we'll take a moment, all of you that feel prepared to fill this out, and then we're going to come and we're going to place them in the envelopes in this beautiful silver bowl. So right here, right now, I'm going to invite you to put your hands over your heart. Breathing in and breathing out. Deep breath in. Let it go. We're here in the midst of the divine presence. That's all there is. All that we give is God in action. All that we are is God in action. And so we entrust our giving to the divine presence. We allow ourselves to be guided, to know when and where and how much to give, and to open our hearts to be receptive to all that the universe wants to give to us through people, places, things, and organizations, and to receive graciously and gratefully. We take our sacred place in the circulation of life with honor, with respect, with gratitude that we are part of this flow. And so we bless all the commitments being made in this room today, all of the giving intentions being written down. We bless them with great gratitude. And we bless our own, whatever it is, right here and right now today, with peace and gratitude, opening to the gifts of Spirit and allowing them to flow through us as divine distributors. We're grateful for this. And so we let this prayer go, entrusting it into the law to bring forth in kind abundance and goodness for Golden Gate and for all of us. We're grateful this is so now, and we let it go and let it be. And so it is. And so I invite you to take a moment to do this, and when you are ready and complete with it, fold it up, put it in your envelope, and bring it up and place it in the silver bowl.
These are the gifts of Spirit, love, joy, and peace. The gifts of Spirit, are you ready to receive all the gifts from Spirit, love, joy, and peace? Gifts from the Spirit, are you ready to receive?
Yes, for the moment.
What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to give my love to you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give right now? I give to you.
So I want to invite you to stand up, because we are not only planning our intentional giving this way financially, we're also looking at our intentional giving as the heart of who we are. So I invite you to say with me our giving goals blessing. We are one in the Spirit of God. We are one in our sacred commitment to awareness and integrity, love and transformation, passion and receptivity, generosity and joyful creativity. We are one in our intention to let our light shine regardless of conditions. Yes, you may be seated. And if you choose to instead use the donation page on our website to make a commitment, and if you're online, you might want to do this if you feel so moved. You can do that by going to ggcsl.org, look for the Donate tab on the top of the page, click that, and underneath you'll see one that says 2022 Giving Intention Form. Just click that, and it will take you right to the page, and you can do it right online from your computer or your tablet or your phone, or you can go to the link, which is there. Now, I said at the beginning that when a play is over, there is a cast party. Well, when any great work is completed, there should be some kind of celebration. Yes, God bless you. Thank you. Yes. And so, you know, when a fantastic building has been built, they dedicate it. When a ship is inaugurated, they smash champagne over it. And so we too are celebrating this morning. We're celebrating the completion of this 8 weeks. We're celebrating the givingness. And so we are also receiving our snacks, our goodies. By the way, there are extra hearts, like a ton of them, up here on, what did I say, hearts? Stars, we are stars. Go up there and get yourself a few more if you want to sprinkle them around at home. We have a whole bunch of them. Help yourselves. But let's affirm this together today. When a great work is finished, it's time to celebrate it. I celebrate this achievement with joy and gratitude. Yes. So let's just take a moment, and this will be a short one, to know right here and right now that this blessing that we have sent out into the world, that we have affirmed and claimed for ourselves, is received in the heart of God. It is received in the creative law. And the creative law is actively acting upon it right now to bring that experience to us, which means that we are being changed right now. We willingly allow this change to take place to bring forth a greater good in our lives now. We bless this and release it, letting it be so even in this moment. And together we say, and so it is. Yes. Yes. And now, of course, it is also the offering time. It looks like today I'm all about money, but, it is Sunday, we do an offering. So if you want to text to give, info is up there on the screen for that. You are able to do that. Just follow those directions. And we're going to bless our offering together right now by saying this. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. Yes. And here we go.
All right, with any big goals, we have to do it one step at a time. I'm gonna take one small step. Instead of looking at that big financial mountain, I'm gonna take one small step. it gets me closer to my goal. I'm gonna take one small step instead of looking at that big mountain. Then it won't seem like I've got so far to go. All right, she talked about dance, and I think it's time we do that. I'm gonna take one small step instead of looking at the mountain. I'm taking one small step. It gets me closer to my goal. I'm taking one small step.
Good for you.
Instead of looking at the mountain, then it won't seem like I've got so far to go. We've got dreams filled with passion.
Yeah.
And I got fears that tend to pop up in my way, but I got a power that's deep inside my soul. And when I look too far and I lose my way, it always lets me know. Here's your part. I'm gonna take one small step instead of looking at the mountain. Here we go. One small step. One small step. It gets me closer to take a little step. That's good. One small step instead of looking at the mountain. Then it won't seem like I've got so far to go. And I got off the track. Oh no, I couldn't find my way back. When I looked inside, the truth there could not be denied. I was making it harder than it had to be. Just pushing and fighting until I found the key. Here's your part now. I'm gonna take one small step instead of looking at the mountain. I'm taking one small step, gets me closer to my goal. I'm taking one small step instead of looking at the mountain. Then it won't seem like got so far to go. All right, turn to someone and say, let's just take one small step. We'll get there. We'll get there. Just tell someone next to you. We'll take one small step. All right, get that dancing going on. Left and right and flex and stretch. Here we go. Woo. Here we go. It goes like this. You affirm it, you say, I'm taking one small step. Say it again, just say, I'm taking one small step. One small step instead of looking at that mountain. Taking one small step gets me closer to my goal. I'm taking one small step instead of looking at the mountain. Then it won't seem like I've got so far to go. No, it won't seem like I've got so far to go. No, it won't seem like I've got so far to go. All right, so now here's what we're going to affirm for next year. We're going to get everything we want, all the things, all the wonderful stuff, and you just say, we're taking one step, one small step, one step, one small step. I'm taking one step, one small step. I'm taking one step, one small step. I'm taking one step. Woo! One small. Good job.
Woo! Nice moving, everybody. You may be seated. Good job, good job. So we do, as Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, all of us together, bless and accept these gifts and these gifts with a lot of gratitude. And we send them into the world to be a transformative force for good wherever they go, starting in this room with us. And so it is. All right. Now, first, I want to say a huge thank you to Mark Cooper for our very lovely A Star is Born altar today. Balloons and beauty, silver and gold, that's great. We love it. It's wonderful. And I want to say, if you're with us for the first time today, God bless you. What a day to come. It's not usually this long, but we're glad that you were here. You will find back on the table, the lovely lady with the green hair is holding up a number of things. Well, she has, oh, sorry, blue stripes. That's Galen Cooper, Mark's wife, and she is holding up a blue card. If you're here for the first time, there are welcome packets on that table there next to Galen, and inside you'll find a blue welcome card. If you fill it out and give it to Galen, we will give you a little book as a gift that's our thank you for being here with us today, and we hope that you've received abundantly and will come back and be with us really often, because we would love to see your faces more and have you be part of our spiritual family. If you have questions, you can also ask Galen. Look for her, she knows everything. All right, she really does. Now, for all of our wonderful and amazing crew and beings who started and created this morning for us, let's give them all a hand as you see their names appearing up here. These are our brilliant beloveds. On the first Sunday in December, which I believe is the 5th, our practitioner, Marilyn Letzos, is going to be offering our Quick Start workshop. This is a free workshop. It is on Zoom from 12:30. I think it's actually 1 hour now rather than 2. But love offerings are welcome, but it's free. You can sign up to do this workshop with her, which is a great intro to our philosophy or a good reminder, refresher review. It's really fun, and Marilyn is fabulous at it. Email our administrator if you'd like to be part of that. So you just email administrator@ggcsl.org. Couldn't be easier. And Sonia will send you the link and the handouts, and you'll be all set. Also, Karen does her second Sunday Sacred Sing today at 6 o'clock on Zoom. Love offering also available for that. And you can find out all the information about it, get the Zoom link and everything else, if you go to Karen's website, calendar, karendrucker.com/calendar, and it will show you exactly how to do that for today. And she would love to see your face. So, seems like I had one more announcement to make, and now I don't remember what it was. I don't have a slide for it, and that is my brain right there. You see it before you. So we're going to move into prayer now. I want to invite the practitioners to surround the room. I want you to know that the practitioner prayer box that's on the table with them over here is available to receive your written requests every week. And practitioners will pray over that written request for a full week. And if you would like prayer this morning, we have 3 practitioners who are on duty, and they'll be at the table over here for you. Go over after the service and just say, I need a prayer. They'll take it from there and help you out. So make sure that you take advantage of that. I know we ran long today, but if you need a prayer, it's never too late. So let's go within and do a laser prayer. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. There's only one. One breath, one mind, one heart, one beingness. It is the Creator. It is the mystery, the great spirit, the nameless, the spontaneous, the mysterious. And it is what we are made from. Our very being is the essence of that one. So all of its qualities are right where we are. All of its wisdom is available to us. We call forth into our lives the wisdom that we need to meet our specific challenges, to meet our specific questions and needs this week. And we call forth from that infinite mind everything that we need to be able to be attuned to give our gifts this week in the world where they're needed. These flow forth from us effortlessly because we are designed to give them. So we allow our courage to rise and our generosity to flow as those gifts come forth from us out into the world this week with joy, with gratitude. We accept the balance of giving and receiving as sacred work, both ends of it. We take it in, we give it out, we let it bless us with each breath, with each heartbeat. We're so grateful. We let this word go into the law with peace and gratitude now, and we let it be so. And we anchor that in consciousness as we say together, and so it is. Yes, and so it is. Please stand and join me now for the benediction and the closing song. Now we have a new closing song today. I'm just going to forewarn you. It's a song by David Alt, and Karen's going to teach it to us in just a minute. But first, let's do this blessing together. I now walk, so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally. And so it is. And this song is for all of us.